everyone. My name is Lonnie. I am Lady Braven of the Pride, and I am passionate about inspiring, encouraging, and empowering others to be brave during this great awakening and spiritual warfare, the battle between the light and the dark forces on the planet. And today I have Danika Angela with me. She's one of the authors from The Brave, Ascending Human Consciousness. This is the third book in my Brave series. And I would love to introduce Danika. And we're going to be talking about not only her chapter in the book, but her involvement with the production of this book. And we're also going to be talking about this concept of spiritual warfare. And I'm going to introduce her by reading out her bio. Danika Angela is a mystical quantum healer, a torchbearer, of personal empowerment through love and empathy, and eternal student of spiritual naturalism. Currently based in Montreal, Quebec, she offers her services both online and in person from her home with clients through myofascial and deep tissue body work, Reiki energy work, and hypnotic multidimensional inner journeys of rapid transformation for true alchemy. Using various techniques from her magical tool bag, can't wait to find out more about that. She has a background in film and television as an actor, writer, and producer. While she was born into shamanism and has walked the healing path her entire life of 4 decades, a natural empathic leader, she's been in service since a young age. All right, she also has a YouTube channel that I want to talk about. It's called Catbird Angel. So welcome very much. Welcome for being here and having this brave conversation with me. How are you doing today, Danika?
I'm doing good. I should be out of YouTube jail right around now, and I should start posting videos again soon.
Okay.
Yeah, the last video I did was on the true origin of Pizzagate, and that obviously was taken down in 48 hours. Citing cyberbullying and harassment. I don't know for who. Laura Silsby, Hillary Clinton, I don't know. The cold case girl. So I'm going to try to remake the video, maybe with more sarcasm, less passion, and less names. Right. And see if that video trick. If not, that'll be like my second strike. So I might post a few more videos first in between.
So do you think it was the names that triggered? Do you have to have so many followers before they start watching you like a hawk and listening to every word you say?
I think it's probably because someone might have flagged it. I don't know, because people shared it on Facebook. I've had one taken down before, but that was after a while. This one only took 48 hours. It could be because I added tags. Pizzagate, Hillary Clinton, you know, and like Hillary is good at wiping everything off the net. Even though all the information I gave is in the Harvard Human Rights Journal, it's all online. But I tied it up with how I've been getting in the mail like 5 months in a row, this super cold case of a girl that's been missing since 1985. And she would be like in her 50s now. She's not a child anymore. Like, do they really hope on finding? So like, I don't know if maybe they think I'm harassing this cold case that is presumed, you know, not alive at this point. So I don't know what YouTube's deal is, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm not gonna let that keep me down.
Yeah, definitely keep trying, because the one thing that I do know for sure is that the truth is all coming out. And even if it is a drip disclosure and little bit by little bit, they are going to start backing up on the censorship. And if they don't start backing up on the censorship,
it just makes me sad that so many people think that, yeah, it makes me feel horrible that so many people think that the origin of Pizzagate is Russians. You know, just they think you're stupid if you don't know it's Russians who planted emails. And it's like, no, you don't know the history.
Wow.
You know, start before it didn't start with Comet Pizza, you know? Okay. Anyway, so that's we got to be brave every day.
Right.
Every day.
Danika, I wanted to ask you, I wanted to say, first of all, you helped me quite a bit with the production of this book. You helped me do the editing. I did kind of a pre-edit, and then you did a full edit. And I really, really appreciate your help with that. But you got a chance to read over all of these stories as well, thoroughly with comprehension, because you were editing them. So I also wanted to ask you, what was your first impression of this collection of stories?
It's one of the best things I've read in a long freaking time. It's really, really nice to just have short stories that are true, meaningful, uplifting, empowering, personal. I really liked how you placed Zachary's story right after mine, because my story is super intense and kind of all over the place. And then you have Zachary, like a poem, like just breathe in and out. It's like, ah, it's like you're just taken out of your mind from where I was in my story and back into the breath. And I took so long to read that story because I wanted to breathe through every sentence. Mm-hmm. I really liked how each one is just so personal and unique with its own flavor. And
yeah, I thought it was really important to have all of these different perspectives of people who were passionately and purposefully standing at the forefront of this spiritual warfare and helping to not only heal. I mean, we all know that people actually heal themselves, but the healers help people heal, and expand awareness and helping people elevate their frequency, and all these different stories, personal stories of helping humanity through this process of transition and transformation. And your story was amazing. It's actually chapter number 2, and it's called Human Technology as Modem.
Yeah.
And yeah, your story is amazing. You have a vast, wide range of experiences and knowledge in the spiritual realm, and with the spiritual practices and healing arts and different modalities. I don't want to give it all away because it's such a good story, but I do remember you talking in your chapter about how the healers of the world are actually being targeted right now. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about why you think that is, and why would you consider them brave right now for doing what they're doing?
Why? You have to be brave for everything these days. It's not just these days, like humanity has been at war for thousands of years. There are dark forces trying to keep us down. Mm-hmm. And that's why the healers are targeted. Anybody who is ascending into the light, it's like you start to bust through into the 4D. And the 4D, you have like everything, all possibilities, all, it's like this lower astral that you encounter all sorts, and you definitely encounter your shadow. So you're going to attract what is inside of you, but there's also dark forces that are just there. And if you're not shielded, if you don't know how to protect yourself, if you don't know your own power, that's where it could be scary. But once you know your power, I mean, you have to be brave, because that's your main tool. You know, it's just they feed off of fear. So you just remember that, you know, like
that's
if
right.
they feed off fear, stop feeding them and they go away. You know, it's like that in your dreams. If you face the attacker, all of a sudden there's nothing to run from. And the so-called real life, this 3D reality, is also an illusion. It is. I've had that vision where I could see everything in the room after this miracle healing that I was a channel for. I had the vision that mystics say all the time, this is Maya. I understood firsthand what they meant. I could say not just what each object symbolized, but what each color on each object symbolized for what was going on in that moment. So everything that we see in our external reality is really just an expression of what is going on within. So it's really important to always work from within. That's my strategy. Some people see the cosmos as up there, but I see it as all inside of yourself.
Right.
When you make those changes within, everything on the outside changes.
This idea of the holographic universe and that everything is an illusion. And I mean, it's a really hard concept for people to grasp, this idea of the matrix. Like when you talk about the matrix, and when I talk about the 3D matrix of control, I can see when I'm talking to some people how their eyes kind of glaze over and they're like, And that, you know, it's such a hard thing to grasp that, yeah, this is our reality. This is material. This is like real. This is like our world right now. And then trying to explain the difference between 3D reality and 5D consciousness or the dimension.
I explain it in terms of energy, because people understand everything is energy. This is science. This is proven fact. Even this book that's like, you can't put our finger through it. You actually can. Like, there's more empty space here than solid. And it's an illusion why we can't get our finger through. It's because like the energy waves are going much slower. So the bonds between atoms, this, that, whatever. But there are people where when their Kundalini is activated, they can see through the friggin' walls. There's people who can actually walk through walls when you're at a certain level. I'm not at that level to be able to walk through walls, but there are more than a handful of people on Earth who can actually physically walk through walls. I believe it. Like there's that, you know, there's the Magus of Java. Did you see the documentary Ring of Fire? I didn't see the documentary, but I've seen clips of it. It's this this acupuncturist who studied 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞 and ancient energy forms of cultivating the chi from within. And you have a masculine chi and a feminine chi. The feminine is magnetic and the masculine is electric. And there's a way to bring them up your spine. The sacral one is a feminine, I think, and from the root, the masculine. I do it slightly differently, taking masculine from above and feminine from underneath, but that's how you unify inside. And the way this master meditated, building this chi, when he builds it, like he can burn people, he can light paper on fire just with the chi from his hands. There's no chemical on the paper or anything. He just like makes it go. He says, touch my stomach. People don't believe it. They're like, there's videos, they're like pulling their hand away because their hand burns just by touching his stomach.
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, it's really amazing. And I really do believe that, I mean, that sounds amazing and incredible, but it's something that we all have access to if we're doing our own work and developing our own skills.
But there's a whole matter of keeping, there's some kind of magic in secrecy or keeping things private. That's what all of his masters taught him. Eventually, he started to agree to some interviews, documentaries, show people how to do it, the basics. But then once they went out to dinner with like the whole camera and crew, and he was trying to show them how he can put a pencil through a table. And it didn't go through the top because there was a layer on the table. So he pushed it through the bottom. And because of that layer on top, it splintered when it poked through the top. A splinter of the pencil went flying, and one of the people at the table, it hit them right between the eyes. He was so upset about that after the next, like he felt like he seriously messed up because he went against the rules of not doing these things in public. And even though it was already decided, he was doing it kind of in private with them. But as soon as he took it out to public and do a little bit of that show off stuff, he realized she almost got blinded. It was like a, you know, a warning. Like first the pencil didn't go through. That was warning number one. Warning number two, look, you could have taken an eye out. And then it's like he felt shamed from within. And everybody thought he would be immortal. They called him the Immortal. It's immortal energy. I don't know whether it's from the pollution these days in our food and the air or whatever, but he did pass away at the age of 85, I think just a few years ago from organ failure. So it makes me wonder, like, did he fry his organs with all that chi? So having more power doesn't necessarily mean that that you're going to ascend. Like I met someone once that was a master at telekinesis. I actually went to junior high school with him, And he was one of the most immature people I ever spoke with. He thought he was an advanced master because he could move things from a distance and that all women should be madly in love with him. And he was just revolting the way that he spoke, imagining that everybody should be in love with him because of this one trick pony that he is, you know?
Right.
And the fact that he had elevated to that level of power without elevating inside his soul work, you know, just that that's a block for him. You know, it's not a path to ascension. Like his power, having gotten there too soon, literally blocked him from going any further. So that's why we're held back from being able to open our gifts until we've like gone through a certain amount of karma in general, because it tends to be a mistake when we get the powers too soon.
Right. And just like any other person of significant abilities and skills, I'm thinking right now of Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce, he was the sleeping prophet, and he had all of these thousands and thousands of really accurate medical readings. But because he was asleep, his family and friends, some of them started to take advantage of him. And they started to ask him who was going to win the race and about lottery tickets, and started to take advantage of his skills and abilities of prophecy. And then Edgar Cayce started to get sick because these people were taking advantage of him. And Archangel Michael actually had to come down and admonish the entire group of people. And they described the moment of this thundering voice and this presence of Archangel Michael, just like admonishing them and reprimanding them like they were little children and telling them not to take advantage of Edgar Cayce.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Goosebumps all over. Must be true.
Yeah.
There's goosebump confirmations.
Yeah.
It's all about power. Energy is the same as power. And you need to be aware of where is that power going. And like the tagline in the new Spider-Man movie, with great power comes great responsibility, right? It's so true.
Yes. Oh, and I was trying to think of that line just earlier. Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
Yeah. And that's why we have to be brave. Yeah. I know personally a friend of mine that was seriously targeted. Like she's a very advanced seer and was sharing some things on the net. Her own website, it's like she can't share the name of it. It just gets blocked. She has to like spell it out and say type it in, but like a link won't work. She had someone watching her personally from I think Facebook or somewhere, and then like making memes that let her know that she was being spied on, to like literally drive her nuts.
Right.
And even sent like fake fans to her house to just like, she was like messed with psychologically. So there's like, some people are actually targeted by human beings that are working on the dark side, and other people are targeted. I think everybody at a certain age, when you haven't chosen the light and you haven't made that choice within, a lot of young people have the dreams of like, you know, the light and the dark fighting for their soul kind of thing, when it's really just reflecting their internal struggle of, well, what side do you want to be on? And a lot of people don't want to choose a side. And if you don't choose a side, then you're always going to have both, you know, talking to you. If you really want to mess with the lower dark side, you have to align your values with somewhere, you know. Judge a book by its cover. You can't, it's hard to even describe things in terms of black and white, dark. When I say dark side, I mean like dark reptilian frequencies. And you can't even say all reptilians are bad. There's good reptilians too. You know, so you can't say reptilian frequency. I say dark reptilian frequency. And like they're broadcasting on the 4D astral. So this is what I would call a dark force. So say if you're just tapping in and without any protection, you can get electronic transmissions from your guides, or you could get electronic transmissions from fake guides, you know, and people posing to be angels, but really it's just like kind of like a bandwidth that you tapped into, that's like this radio station that the dark reptilians are putting out messages or frequencies that say like fear, 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 fight, 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 divide, divide, you're worthless. You're like, you know, they're just putting out these frequencies that you have to be able to identify and block and shield and like kind of have a permanent shield from that stuff. When you know yourself and you know your power, that's where you're able to just smash right through fear, face it head on, and it goes away.
Right. Yeah.
So
So
whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. You know,
yeah.
that's like one of my favorite sayings.
Yeah, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that's what the brave are all about, because I really do believe that every one of these people are telling a story of being brave, of having been presented with something to be afraid of, making a courageous choice and choosing to move forward in the direction of their dreams and their goals, knowing that there's always a risk and there is, you know, there is something to be cautious of, but moving forward with courage. So, and all different perspectives of, you know, these are all just labels and or titles or whatever: Lightworker, empath, intuitive, channeler, like all of these things, psychic, oracle. They all have very unique perspectives of what's going on the planet right now. And I think when you take in all of these different perspectives, it kind of gives you a big picture of what it means to ascend human consciousness. So yeah, so what else are you doing right now? I know that you said you had your YouTube channel and you've been put in a timeout for that, but you're also offering Reiki service.
Just a week was timeout because I was in YouTube jail, but I tend to only post about once a week anyway. Yeah, I share some things on YouTube. I think I have to start a TikTok channel apparently, even though I hate TikTok and don't want to download it to my phone. I have the third person telling me, so that means I have to. I'll probably be on TikTok soon.
What kind of content do you share on your YouTube channel?
It's all over the place. It's about health, spirituality, and magic. And sometimes I'll get a little political, like the last one. It's important.
Yeah. Is that political?
Truth.
Yeah. Is that political?
I wouldn't say it's political. I'd say it's well, once you throw in Hillary Clinton, it becomes political. But it's an issue involving truth and illusion, you know, and the dark magic that they put on us, the friggin' spell cast, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's the thing.
Hacks, lesser known magic formulas, just whatever that comes to me that I want to share. I just put it up there.
Well, thank you for doing that, because, you know, as you know, the mainstream media, they're doing their part in casting black magic spells over the entire population with their mind control and all of the content that they share. It's all very dark, fear-mongering propaganda. So you're doing your part to counter that by sharing the truth and sharing the light and the love and more spirituality and a higher understanding of what's happening with mind control. So thank you for doing that. I mean, we need lots and lots of people like you. I don't know, I don't want to give you any titles or labels, but we need more people like you.
Thanks. Yeah, that's why it's good reading the book. It's like if you're part of the tribe, you see like you're not alone. You find your tribe, because this isolation shit, it's driving all of us nuts a bit, and ascension makes you feel like you're going nuts as it is. So it's really important, especially for the younger ones, where it's like some people's ascension is happening overnight. You know, for me, it's been gradual for my whole life, but other people, it's like all of a sudden they're hit with like, holy shit, you know, I was taken in a UFO and this and that. And it's like, luckily there's so many other people it's happening to. They know they're not skits. They're like, they know that, but they still question, am I crazy? You know, so it's important to find people who are at the level.
I go through these waves. I call them tsunamis, actually. They're not even waves, but I go through these really intense emotional waves of like realizations and, you know, purging of energy and emotion and heartbreak and sometimes fear. And then I go into the fear and I have to bring myself back out of it. And, just, I call them waves of emotion, but waves doesn't seem big enough. I feel like they're tsunamis. Well, I don't recommend anybody using crutches, but I definitely like having a glass of wine when I'm on a tsunami of an emotion or a roller coaster of emotions. I like to have a glass of wine. And I do find that if I do smoke a joint, I don't dream. And I don't like that. I like to dream. I like being off there in my astral world and, having the conversations and the realizations and the experiences that I have over there. And I don't do that when I smoke pot. So
Yeah, that's the main reason why I hate it when I get hooked on it. I miss my dreams and being like stuck in the house, and I work from my home. It's like it's like I lost my life if I lost my dreams. All the cool stuff happens there, going on missions. There's like stuff happening that doesn't happen in this world. So yeah, it's a life snatcher.
yeah. Danika, you have a really, really cool perspective in the way that you look at things. You have a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom to share. And I want to say thank you very much for sharing that in your chapter. I don't want to give it all away. I want people to go out and buy this book, but you guys are going to love this chapter. It's chapter number 2 in Ascending Human Consciousness, and it's called Human Technology as Modem. Do you want to give a little bit of an explanation of why you chose that title?
Because of all the AI that's out, artificial intelligence, artificial technology, they're trying to mimic God with this whole transhumanism, hive mind stuff, and nothing beats human technology. Like, no amount of computing, because we're natural walking quantum computers.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need a GPS device. We don't even need a map. We go beyond time space.
Mm-hmm.
That's what quantum is. And we're all connected. We're not just personal computers, but we're connected. That's why modem, and because it's a mode, I don't know. Our human technology is just fascinating. And that's why I've been studying it my whole life, this like natural law, but also human law. Like, how does everything work? How do our bodies work? We'll never have all the answers. It's a great mystery, but it's like, that is what I love studying, just how everything is connected. Like, this is the ultimate internet. It's like, it's right here. It's right here. It's right here. That namaste spot, the tiny space in the heart. Light in me salutes the light in you. It's an actual physical space in our heart that if you get into it, you access the cosmos. You can talk to anybody else's higher self. And it's like, it's a portal to all information in any time, space, location.
Yes, very powerful to learn how to utilize that portal and utilize that human modem and our human technology. These are all really powerful things to learn how to utilize and develop these skills and clairsenses. And I think that right now, a lot of people are asking these questions of like, they're looking for their internal guidance. They're looking for their higher self guidance. And this is the kind of information that would be really inspiring for them. Yeah, so thank you very, very much for sharing that. I also was wondering if do you have anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers? And I was also going to get you to read the last paragraph in your chapter.
I think everybody needs a little reminder right now to be gentle with yourselves, please. Just be gentle with yourself.
That's a good reminder. Yeah, absolutely. These are very challenging times and we're all going through it. And yeah.
Almost all my clients lately, like, they don't say it out loud, but they are beating themselves up mentally, living in their heads, and just like the littlest touch of like, hey, just don't be so hard on yourself. Just like breaking down. I didn't realize I was being so mean to myself. It's like,
oh yeah,
they are. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, in the last couple of years, I've definitely felt like that too. So that's a really good reminder. And I think that what you're doing, helping people process and understand all of this and where it comes from in our past lives, and these individual challenges and lessons that we all have to learn, I think that is a huge service for humanity right now, because so many people are going through that emotional roller coaster and process. So I
It is
think that,
really rewarding. Yeah. I've had a
yeah,
few hugs this last week where I was told, this is really important work you're doing. Thank you
yeah,
so much. And that's what I do it for. It's
right.
it's not for the validation of the hug or them telling me. It's
Yeah.
seeing, it's actually witnessing the change on my table. They come in one way and they leave another way. And it's like, wow, like something that's been weighing them down for years and years and years is like gone after a few hours. It's like, really,
Absolutely. And I also believe that, everything that you've experienced in this lifetime and all of the other previous lifetimes that you're aware of, it's all created the path and the purpose that you're in right now, and how you're showing up in the world with all of your love and your wisdom and your encouragement for humanity. I think everything is just divine. Everything is happening on time. Everything is perfect. And I think you're very brave.
thanks. Yeah, it's so hard to figure out time these days, being the quantum beings that we are. We just want like everything right away. And like, why is nothing happening? But everything is happening while we think nothing's happening. Then all of a sudden it's like, then everything changes. It's like, why was that so fast? But it's like, it felt like nothing was happening for the last months. It's weird how time works, but everything, it's divine timing.
Yeah.
It's like, just gotta be patient for, okay, now's the time. Yeah.
There's one of my favorite songs by 𝐦𝐨𝐿. You know 𝐦𝐨𝐿? 𝐦𝐨𝐿 Barrett?
No.
Okay. He's one of my favorite artists. And one of my favorite songs is called We Are on Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up after.
I'll send it to you. Yeah. So, would you like to read that chapter or that paragraph in just
You want
to
me to
give
read
people
the last chapter, right? That's
the
the one you want me
last paragraph in your chapter?
Okay.
It's on page 40, and I just want to give people a little bit of a taste of your chapter so that they will go out and get the book.
Yes, I highly recommend you go out and get this book. Okay. Great book. So the last chapter, the last paragraph of my chapter. Know your power. My passion for teaching people how to become empowered by clearing their field and raising their vibration, knowing themselves, and how to heal themselves through mental, physical, and spiritual deprogramming and remembering has skyrocketed in these times because it is such important work to do now more than ever. Each person who heals themselves makes a difference for the collective of humanity at large. The human mind, heart, and light body are not only a personal quantum computer, but also a modem that connects with the rest of the universe. Each atom in our body has the power of a nuclear bomb stored in it. As each individual human is healed, the energy of the collective ascends and helps to raise others in remembering. Each human heart is bigger than the ocean. Give it a squeeze and you'll witness the waves swell far past your veins to the other side of the planet and all the way through the cosmos. The power of love is fierce, and we have all the power.
I love it. You have a very creative and eloquent style of writing. I love it. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Actually, Angel Gabriel, who gave me that message in a meditation about 5 years ago or so. He was said, give your heart a squeeze. And I guess that's word for word what he said. I can't remember the exact words, or maybe it was like in visuals, but he said it's larger than the ocean. It's like the way that it swells, the ripple waves. And if you can kind of visualize and feel it at the same time, you start to really understand the power of our heart energy frequency. And all you'd really do is have to give it a squeeze, like stimulate it, and it'll just expand. It makes waves. And we're all connected in this like it's a tapestry. It's like we're all one. It's an illusion to think there's any separation. I know we hate to hear that. It's like, I'm not anything like Hillary Clinton. It's like we're all one soup, unfortunately. And that's why Ascended Masters come down to help us, because we're all connected. We got to raise everyone if we want to raise ourselves.
Right.
But it really is like that. One person makes a little shift, and it's like everything else shifts with it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And if people want to connect with you, what is the best way that they can do that?
I'd say send me an email at d.angelawings@hotmail.com.
Okay.
You can leave a comment on one of my YouTube videos and I'll see it, but that would be too public. So yeah, in the book, I think I put my email. So you can buy the book.
Yep.
You can get my email, d.angelawings@hotmail.com.
Right.
Because yeah, I don't have a streamlined website. It's like mystical quantum healer. I do so many things. I do teaching, counseling, alchemical journeys, the body work.
Yeah, you have a lot of information and wisdom to share with people. And I think that right now people are calling out for this kind of content and information because of everything that we're going through with the ascension process and this transition into a higher vibration. I think that maybe we should do another little interview in a week or two about something completely different, because you have a very vast array of knowledge. There's so many things that we can talk about.
I don't want to streamline what I do, because I like taking each client and seeing what I can do for them, like what they need, because not everybody needs the same thing at the same time.
Right.
You know, it's like different for everybody. Everybody's
right. Thank you very much for this brave conversation. And for everybody, please like this video and share it with a friend that could use a little bit of inspiration and encouragement at this time. And also, if you are interested in any of the books, you can get them at, there's 3 books, the other 2 right behind me. You can get them at www.ladybravenofthepride or on Amazon. Subscribe, because we have courageous conversations almost every day. And we all know that courage is contagious. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you next time.
And subscribe to my channel too.
Oh,
Catbird
yes. Subscribe to Catbird Angel as well.
Yay. Okay, see you next time, Lanny. Thank you for the interview.